My name is Lauren E. Powell, and I am 32 years old. I need to document this while I'm still processing because my entire world just imploded, and somehow I'm okay with it. I'd been with my boyfriend Ashley for 3 years, engaged for 6 months. He worked at my mother's accounting firm, a business she built from nothing over 25 years, starting in our garage and turning it into a place with 15 employees and books for half the small businesses in town. I've worked there since I was 22. Started in data entry. Now I'm a senior accountant. Yes, I know. Working for my mom. Ashley never let me forget how weird it was. But the truth is, I genuinely love the work, and my mom treats me like any other employee. If anything, she's harder on me because she refuses to let anyone think I get special treatment. Ashley joined 2 years ago as a client relations manager. My mom hired him as a favor to me at first, but he was good at his job. Charming with clients. Organized. The kind of person who could make people feel taken care of. Mom even started trusting him with bigger accounts, and I remember feeling proud, like we were building a life that actually fit together. Then yesterday at 2 p.m., while I was deep in quarterly reports, my phone buzzed. "Babe, I did something amazing for us," his text said. "I just quit your mom's business. She was getting way too demanding and it was affecting our relationship. All those late nights, weekend calls, her constant criticism, it was toxic. You don't have to choose between us anymore. You're welcome. Can't wait to celebrate tonight." I stared at my screen for a solid minute. He quit without discussing it, without notice, right before tax season. And he texted it like a gift. I typed back one word. Noted. He responded instantly, offended. "That's it. I just freed us from your controlling mother, and you say noted." I didn't respond again. I didn't argue over text. I just stood up, walked down the hall, and went straight to my mom's office. She was on the phone when I walked in, voice tight, eyes tired, the kind of tired that comes from carrying a business on your back for decades. When she hung up, I asked, "Did Ashley just quit?" Her face went through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds: disbelief, irritation, disappointment, stress, and then something sharper. She sent an email 5 minutes ago. No notice, no transition notes, just, "I quit effective immediately." I've been trying to reach him because he has the Morrison Industries presentation tomorrow. My stomach dropped. Morrison Industries was our second biggest client, and Ashley had been preparing that presentation for 3 weeks. Mom kept going, like she was reading off a list she didn't want to be real. He also has the Brennan Group tax documents and the Riverside restaurant chain contracts for renewal, all on his company laptop. I felt my pulse in my throat. He didn't return the laptop. "No," Mom said, voice flat now. "Or his key card. Or the company credit card." That's when I knew this wasn't just quitting. This was him pulling the pin and walking away with the grenade. I went back to my desk and finished my workday like normal. I didn't tell anyone about his text. I didn't give him the satisfaction of making me publicly reactive. At 5, Mom called a quick meeting. "Team," she said calmly, "Ashley has decided to pursue other opportunities. We'll be redistributing his accounts. I know tax season is coming, but we've handled worse." She started assigning like a commander in a crisis. "Tommy, can you take Morrison? Janet, you've got Brennan. I'll handle Riverside personally." Everyone nodded. No drama, no panic. That's why Mom's business works. We're a team. I drove home to find Ashley had decorated our apartment with balloons and a giant banner that said "Freedom." He was wearing a smug smile like he'd just won a war, champagne in one hand. A setup like this was supposed to be romantic, celebratory, a surprise. "Surprise," he said. "We're celebrating my last day under your mother's thumb." I didn't even take my coat off. I sat on the couch, feeling my exhaustion settle into something colder. "Ashley," I said, "you have client files on your laptop." He waved dismissively. "They'll figure it out. Your mom's so smart, right? You have Morrison's presentation tomorrow." "Not anymore," he said, laughing. "I don't." I stared at him, trying to understand how someone could be this reckless and still think they deserved praise. "You need to return the laptop and files tonight." His expression shifted, irritation surfacing. "Absolutely not. I don't work there anymore." That's when it hit me. He thought he was untouchable because we were engaged. He thought the ring was armor. He thought my mother wouldn't dare enforce consequences against her future son-in-law, and he thought I would automatically protect him no matter what he destroyed. He walked closer, voice softer, like he was trying to pull me back into his version of reality. "Babe, I did this for us. Your mom's been poisoning you against me. All those Ashley made an error comments. All those Ashley needs better time management meetings. She hates me. Those were performance reviews, I said. Everyone gets them. No, he snapped. It was targeted. She wanted me gone, so I left. Now she can't control our relationship anymore. He was smiling again, waiting for me to thank him. And I realized in that moment, with balloons sagging slightly against the ceiling and champagne bubbling uselessly on the counter, that this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a power move. And if I covered for him now, I'd be covering forever. I slept on the couch that night, staring at the dark ceiling, listening to him move around the bedroom like he was the one betrayed. At 3:00 a.m., I made a decision so clear it felt like relief. He wanted freedom. He was about to get it. The morning after Ashley's freedom celebration, I got up at 6 a.m., showered, dressed for work, and left without waking him. I didn't slam doors. I didn't throw accusations. I just moved through the apartment quietly, the way you do when you're trying not to disturb a sleeping stranger, and that realization alone made my stomach twist. At the office, my mom was already on the phone with Morrison Industries, apologizing in that calm, professional voice she uses when she's furious, but refuses to let clients feel it. Tommy was in a conference room with 3 monitors up, trying to recreate Ashley's presentation from scratch, because the files were locked on a company laptop that wasn't here. The entire floor felt like it was running on adrenaline, but nobody complained. Nobody panicked. They just adjusted and worked, because that's what functional adults do when something breaks. I walked into my mom's office and said the part out loud that she already knew. Ashley still has the laptop. I know, she said, rubbing her temples. He's refusing to return it. I swallowed. He's doing this because he thinks you won't touch him since we're engaged. My mom looked at me over her glasses, and the look wasn't anger, it was clarity. Lauren, she said, I love you, but if any other employee did this, what would I do? Send a formal demand letter, I replied automatically. Then involve lawyers if needed. Exactly, she said. Do you want me to treat him differently because he's your boyfriend? There it was. The question she'd been training me for my whole life. The question that separates love from enabling. No, I said, and my voice surprised me with how steady it sounded. Do what you need to do. My mom nodded once. I'm sorry this is happening. Me too, I said. And I meant it, because even though Ashley had detonated this, I was the one who would live in the smoke if I didn't choose correctly. Around lunch, Ashley started blowing up my phone. Where are you? Why didn't you wake me? Are you seriously at work right now? Lauren, answer me. This is ridiculous. Your mom is toxic and you're enabling her. I didn't respond until he sent the 7th message in a row, and then I sent one text only. Working Morrison presentation at 2:00. At 1:30, Donna, the receptionist, called my extension. Her voice was strained. Lauren, Ashley is here. He doesn't have his badge. I felt my chest tighten, but I didn't act surprised. This was what he did. Make a scene. Force an audience. Turn everything into a test of loyalty. When I walked to the front, Ashley was already mid-meltdown, leaning across the counter like he owned the building. Donna looked like she was trying to keep her professionalism from snapping. You're seriously making me check in like a visitor, Ashley yelled when he saw me. Lauren, tell her who I am. Donna glanced at me, relief flickering in her eyes, like she wanted permission to stop being polite. I kept my tone flat. Donna knows who you are. You're a former employee without a badge. Ashley's face went a shade darker, anger rising. We need to talk now. I have the Morrison presentation in 30 minutes, I said. I don't care about Morrison, he snapped. Well, I do, I replied. It's my job. He laughed like that was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. Your job. I quit for you. That line again, like he expected it to work like a spell. That was when my mom walked past, heading to the conference room with a folder in her hand. She nodded politely as if nothing was happening. Ashley, she said calmly. Ashley turned like a dog catching scent. Don't you dare act casual, he snapped. You've been trying to break us up since day one. Well, guess what? I won. I'm marrying your daughter, and there's nothing you can do about it. My mom stopped, turned fully, and her voice stayed quiet, which somehow made it sharper. Ashley, this isn't personal. You quit without notice and retained company property. I need the laptop and files returned by 5 p.m. today, or I'll have to take legal action. Ashley scoffed, loud and dramatic. Legal action? Against your future son-in-law. Against a former employee in breach of contract, my mom said, not blinking. Ashley grabbed my arm, fingers tight. Lauren, tell her she can't do this. I removed his hand from my arm slowly, the way you do when you're trying not to escalate but you refuse to be touched. Tell her what? I said. To let you keep stolen property. He went rigid. Stolen. You worked on those files on company time, I said, using company resources. They belong to the firm. Ashley stared at me like I'd hit him. His eyes narrowed, and I could see the betrayal narrative forming in real time. So you're choosing her, your mommy, over your fiancé. I'm choosing to support a business that employs 15 people and serves hundreds of clients, I said. This isn't about choosing sides. This is about you breaking the rules you signed. He stormed out, but not before shouting back over his shoulder, You'll regret this, both of you. He left without the laptop, without the files, without a single shred of responsibility. Tommy nailed the Morrison presentation anyway. It wasn't the exact version Ashley had built, but it was solid, professional, and Patricia Morrison was impressed that we handled the crisis without crumbling. My mom's team didn't just survive the hit, they adapted. At 5, the laptop still wasn't returned. My mom called her lawyer. That night, Ashley wasn't at the apartment. His stuff was still there, but he was gone. A text came through at 11 o'clock p.m. Staying with Brittany. Can't believe you betrayed me like this. Your mom wins. Hope you're happy. The next morning, a formal demand letter was sent to Ashley's email and to Brittany's address. 48 hours to return all company property or legal proceedings would begin. Ashley responded the way people like him always do when reality threatens them. He went public. He posted on Facebook that my mom was threatening to sue him for quitting her sweatshop. He called her toxic. He tagged the business page. He framed it like he was a brave whistleblower standing up for himself against a monster of a boss. Within 2 hours, we lost 3 clients. My mom posted one calm statement. We wish Ashley well in his future endeavors. For factual information about this situation, please contact us directly. But we both knew the damage was already spreading because drama moves faster than truth. Then Ashley did something really stupid. He created a fake email account and sent messages to clients claiming he still worked for the firm. He warned them about unethical practices and suggested they move their business to our competitor, Hartley Accounting. He thought he was being clever. He wasn't. Ashley wasn't tech-savvy, and he did it from the company laptop he still had. The laptop with security software installed, the kind that records everything, every email, every timestamp, every keystroke. When our IT guy pulled the logs, my mom's lawyer practically sounded excited. And standing there in the hallway outside my mom's office, listening to the legal team talk about evidence and damages and injunctions, I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. Ashley didn't quit to save our relationship. Ashley quit to hurt my mother's business. And he expected me to clap for him while he did it. 2 weeks later, Ashley's entitlement reached heights I genuinely didn't think were possible. After the fake emails were traced and the cease and desist went out, my mom's lawyer called me on speaker and actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the audacity was so blatant it bordered on parody. Ashley, in response, hired his own lawyer, some publicity-hungry ambulance chaser who clearly hadn't been told the full story, and sent over a letter that read like a ransom note dressed up as legalese. 6 months of severance pay. $50,000 for emotional distress due to a hostile work environment. A public apology. Withdrawal of all legal action. And a positive reference letter for future employment. 2 years at the firm. 2. The lawyer's voice echoed through my mom's office as he read it out loud, and when he finished, there was a pause before he said, "Absolutely not," with a level of confidence that felt like oxygen. Ashley wasn't done. He escalated in the way people do when they mistake volume for leverage. I came home one evening to find our apartment ransacked. Not burglarized, but reorganized. My things were boxed and stacked by the door like a silent ultimatum. Ashley stood there with 3 friends, including Brittany and his mother, Denise. All of them forming a tight semicircle like this was an intervention. Denise stepped forward first, eyes hard, chin lifted. She said we needed to have a family discussion. Family! She said my mother was destroying Ashley's life over a petty work dispute and that I needed to call her immediately and make it stop, or the wedding was off. I looked at Ashley. He was smirking, arms crossed, confident. I said, "Okay." His face lit up for half a second. Then I finished the sentence. "The wedding's off." The room went dead quiet. Ashley screeched, Denise went full mama bear, shouting that I couldn't break up with him, that he quit his job for me. I said he quit to hurt my mother's business, then tried to sabotage it, then tried to extort money. Brittany tried to claim tenant rights. I reminded them Ashley wasn't on the lease. He went pale. Legally, I had to give him 30 days. I told him I wanted him out. He cried angry tears and promised I'd regret it. He left with half his things and, unbelievably, forgot the laptop again. That night, he went scorched earth online. He posted our engagement story but twisted it into a tale of abuse and control, claimed I pursued him relentlessly at work, that my mom forced unpaid overtime, that the whole family was toxic. He posted selectively edited screenshots of private texts to make me look like a helpless mama's girl. Some people believed him. Mutual friends messaged me, asking if I was okay, if the allegations were true. Abuse, because I wouldn't let him steal from a business. Then he made his biggest mistake. He used the client files. He contacted Morrison Industries directly, offering to handle their accounting independently for 30% less. He forgot one thing. Patricia Morrison is my mom's best friend from college. She forwarded everything within minutes. At that point, it wasn't just theft and defamation. It was attempted client poaching in direct violation of a non-compete. An emergency injunction was filed. Ashley was served the next day. His lawyer dropped him immediately after learning what he'd omitted. He showed up at my mom's house at 10 p.m., drunk, ringing the bell, then pounding when she didn't answer fast enough. He screamed that she ruined his life, that she turned me against him, that she owed him everything. My mom called the police. When they arrived, Ashley was still shouting accusations about fraud and abuse. The officers looked at my mom standing calmly in her robe and asked if she wanted to press charges for trespassing and harassment. She asked them to just get him home safely. They escorted him away. He screamed that this wasn't over. It wasn't. A month later, the conclusion came fast and hard. After that night, Ashley tried to break into the office at 2 a.m. using his old keycard. It had been deactivated weeks earlier. The alarm triggered. Security footage caught him in the parking lot with an empty USB drive and all black clothing. This time, my mom pressed charges. Attempted breaking and entering. Ashley bailed out and went online, claiming my mom set him up and planted evidence. No one was buying it anymore. Then Hartley Accounting called. Ashley had applied there, used my mom as a reference without asking, lied about being laid off due to downsizing, claimed he brought in 40% of new business, and demanded a $20,000 signing bonus to cover legal expenses from a wrongful termination suit. My mom sent Tom Hartley public court documents and let him decide. He didn't hire Ashley. The court week was a blur. Criminal first. Ashley pled down to attempted trespassing, probation, community service, a restraining order keeping him away from the business and my mom's house. Civil next. Ashley represented himself. He tried to submit Facebook posts as evidence of a hostile work environment. The judge refused. My mom's lawyer presented the signed contract, the non-compete, the fake email logs, the security footage, the poaching attempt, the client statements. Damages stacked quickly. $15,000 in lost business, $8,000 in legal fees, $5,000 in IT security updates, $12,000 for breach of contract, $40,000 total. The judge ordered the laptop returned within 48 hours or face contempt. Ashley had pawned it for $300. The serial number tracked it down. It cost $500 to buy it back. He had to pay that too. Ashley moved out after formal eviction. He took petty things on the way out. Coffee maker, light bulbs. He kept the engagement ring. In our state, an engagement ring is a conditional gift. No marriage, ring goes back. I asked for it. He refused. Small claims court. He claimed it was payment for emotional damages. The judge ordered him to return it or pay the value. He said he lost it. The pawn shop still had it. Same place as the laptop. I got the ring back, returned it to the jeweler for 70%, and used the money to take my mom on a quiet vacation after tax season. We needed it. Ashley's life shrank quickly. Part-time retail, living with his parents, posting about injustice to a smaller audience, paying my mom $500 a month for years, unable to get hired at any accounting firm in town. Word travels. His new girlfriend dumped him after Googling his name. My mom's business thrived. We gained new clients from the Morrison presentation Tommy nailed. We hired a new client relations manager with 30 years of experience who wasn't trying to marry me. I learned something I won't forget. When someone tells you they're doing something for you that you didn't ask for, they're usually doing it for themselves. Ashley thought being my fiancé made him untouchable. He thought he could burn a business built over 25 years and face no consequences. He was wrong. By the time the dust finally settled, it felt less like an ending and more like the moment after a storm when you step outside and realize the house is still standing. The air smelled cleaner. The noise was gone. And for the first time in weeks, I wasn't bracing for the next impact. Ashley's criminal case wrapped up first. Probation, community service, a restraining order that kept him away from my mom, the business, and the building. He tried to play it off online like a misunderstanding, like he'd been targeted for speaking his truth, but even his most loyal supporters had gone quiet. There's a limit to how many times someone can cry injustice before people start noticing the pattern underneath it. The civil case took longer, but it was methodical in a way that felt oddly comforting. Contracts, logs, security footage, statements. Facts don't care how loud someone yells. Watching Ashley sit there representing himself, flipping through printouts of Facebook posts and calling them evidence, was surreal. It was the same confidence he'd walked into my apartment with the night he quit, the same assumption that reality would bend around him if he insisted hard enough. It didn't. When the judge read out the total damages, Ashley's face went pale. $40,000, lost business, legal fees, IT remediation, breach penalties, the order to return the laptop within 48 hours or face contempt. When it came out that he'd pawned it, that detail landed with a dull thud, like the final confirmation that there was nothing left to defend. Even the judge looked tired of him. After the eviction notice ran its course, Ashley cleared out the last of his things while I was at work. He took the petty stuff, the coffee maker, the spare light bulbs, a couple of towels. It was small, almost laughable, but it tracked. People who can't control the big things reach for whatever they can carry. He kept the engagement ring, too, convinced it was his by right, a trophy for emotional damages he'd invented. Small Claims was mercifully brief. Engagement rings are conditional gifts here. No marriage, no ring. Ashley claimed he'd lost it. The judge didn't buy it. The pawn shop records told the truth. Same place as the laptop. I got the ring back, sold it to the jeweler for 70% of its value, and booked my mom a quiet trip after tax season ended. We didn't talk much on that vacation. We didn't need to. Relief has its own language. Work stabilized. Then it improved. Morrison Industries sent 2 referrals after Tommy's presentation. Patricia Morrison told my mom she'd never seen a team handle a crisis with that much composure. We hired Evelyn, a client relations manager with 30 years of experience and zero interest in office politics or my last name. She asked smart questions, took notes, and went home on time. The office exhaled. As for Ashley, his world narrowed. Living with his parents, part-time retail, court payments due every month, a name that got a lot of raised eyebrows when it came up in hiring conversations. His new girlfriend left after a quick search and a long pause. He still posted about betrayal and injustice, but the comments were different now, shorter, skeptical, sometimes silent. People asked me how I was, if I was angry, if I felt foolish, if I'd known. The honest answer is that I felt lighter, not because it was easy, but because it was over. The kind of over that comes when you stop explaining yourself to someone who never listened in the first place. I learned something I won't forget. When someone tells you they're doing something for you that you didn't ask for, pay attention. That's often where control hides. Ashley thought quitting would make him a hero, that being my fiancé made him untouchable, that he could burn down a business built over 25 years and still be applauded for the smoke. He thought wrong. I'm still here. The business is still here. The work still matters. And the quiet in my apartment at night finally feels like peace instead of waiting. I don't look back anymore. There's nothing back there that needs me.